Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very tired. I'm very tired. I had two massive marathon games today. The first game, there's a recap about now, 3 hours. This one went even longer, it was 3 hours, 15 minutes. Um, but the question you are asking yourself is, did I win or did I lose? Did I make these hours and these minutes count? Well, let's find out. Well, I know, but I'm going to tell you. I'm going to show you this game. It was a very interesting game for large portions of it, but put it this way, I don't. When I win, it doesn't take 3 hours. So maybe that's a bit of a spoiler. I'm playing Vincent Manaka. He's 1231. I'm 1295. Both of our peak ratings. He played B3. I saw B3 and I just thought, this guy's gonna squash me or I'm gonna squash him. Because B3 is not it. I played knight to F6. He played bishop B2, which is the whole idea. D5. He played D3, and we got into a bit of an opening. I thought a little bit about bishop to f4 because I was right. I thought his main idea here is to play e4, right? That's going to be his main idea in a lot of lines probably, and trade off a couple of pieces maybe, and then we'd head for a very quick endgame. And I wanted to see about that, so I played bishop to f4 just to stop e4. He played e6. He played e3. I played e6. We both developed our bishops, and here he played a very interesting move. He played rook b1, which is okay. The engine likes it. It's not a mistake or anything. I just thought, but that's so slow. Like, you haven't achieved anything. So I played queen c7, preparing e5. Because I thought his main break is going to be this c4 push. He played ace 3, which was a bit of a waiting move, but now it allows e5. And after c4, I get to play d4, which is the perfect move, locking everything up. This bishop is now dead. It never gets to see the light of day on this diagonal again, and I'm much better. For about a move, when he took, and I took with the wrong pawn, according to the engine, and lose some of my advantage. So now minus 0.6. He played here knight to h5, and here I'm much, much better. It's minus 1.5 if I retreat the bishop to try and keep it alive. But I was being very hopeful. I thought what would happen is bishop to h4, which is a miss. He would take, I would take, he would castle, and get mated. Legitimately, like, I thought this is what would happen. Sadly, it didn't. Bishop h6. He also saw visions of these two pieces teaming up and decided to play knight to f1, which I thought was to defend this, but you can't castle through the knight, dude. So he obviously had a better idea, and his better idea was after bishop to d6, he was going to play knight to g3. And if I gave you this position, what do you think I played? There are a host of moves. I can play bishop. I can play bishop to f4. Just an interesting move, getting control of these dark squares. I can play short castles. I can also play queen a5, which would force the queens off the board or force the king to move. Queen a5 is probably what I should have gone for in the game, because you would have had queen a5 and then either king f1, losing the right to castle, or queen d2, and still losing the right to castle. I'm trading the queens and playing this. But this is very much level. No. After knight to g3, I went bold and played long castles, inaccuracy from the computer. But I played it for very good reason. Because after b4, which I was very surprised to see, I know I castled that side, so that it makes sense that there's an attack, I can just take. And he pushes, and now I get a5. So I've locked everything down on this side, and you can see the engine, I'm now better, 2.7. So this is the second time today I've been better out of the opening. Will I make this one count? Knight f3 just retreats knight. He's like, I've got no interest in taking this anymore and opening up your rook towards probably where my king is going to go, considering I've already played rook b1. I just took the knight. Took it and played rook he8. Pinning the bishop, he castled, but now I've got knight to g4. And yes, you can play bishop c1. I've got knight e3. And you can take, I can take with the rook. And I'm just infiltrating and getting in. You have to play queen e2. I've got the other rook. And you have to scramble. And here, I need to be patient. And this is probably what I've done twice today. I've rushed. I've got visions of knockout blows, and they're not there yet. I need to be more patient. I play queen b6, which is fine. Queen maintains advantage. He plays rook f2. And here I rush. I play b3. I think I can push the pawn. I create multiple threats. No. Rook b1. But queen b4. And if you trade, you run into problems because there's now too many problems in the position. Too many problems. The knight's coming in. This pawn is permanently under fire. It doesn't matter that, knight takes d4 can be played. I have got, knight takes d3. Knockout blow. And this probably would have been the knockout. But after queen b4, he found queen d1, which was the best move. And I took the pawn because I thought if I can get back, I can push this and help it. I never get that. And this is where it starts to get wrong. Yes, he goes slightly wrong with bishop to f1. And I find bishop to h5 the best move because the problem is this knight is attacking this pawn constantly. And I would love to move my knight to b5. So he plays rook takes b3, and now I play knight to b4. Slight inaccuracy, but still okay. What I should have done here instead is immediately taken this knight. Just remove it from the board. And, we get like g takes. I was worried because I thought, it's going to activate this bishop. And, I have now opened myself up to a belligerent attack. Computer's unfazed. Sorry, something fell here. What's going on? Okay, whatever. Computer's completely unfazed. I played knight b4. But queen b1. And here I was starting to go, uh-oh, I'm doing it again. I've still got advantage. But I need to remove this knight. Because it's got pressure here. Which is kind of the linchpin of my position. Right? Because it's supporting this rook. And it's really causing big problems. And here I really thought. I thought about queen d7. I thought about taking this knight. And I also thought about, what else did I think about? I think those were pretty much it. I thought about queen c6, queen d7, and taking the knight. Those were the three moves I considered. One of them is the top move of the engine. The other two are very bad. Queen c6. Losing the pawn. Which is not even the best move. But it really phrases me. Now queen c5. When I played queen b6 earlier, I had visions along this diagonal. The visions are coming true. Knight b5. And now rook e1. I'm back. I'm much better. The engine now wants rook takes b4. So that when I take the queen, you can take back. And you gain 2 pieces for the queen. He doesn't find that. He finds queen b2, and now I am completely and utterly winning if I play bishop to e2, threatening mate. That's what I need to find. I need to move the bishop to e2. Instead, I played rook 8 e2, which is a mistake because of the unbelievable queen d4. And that move hit the board, and I just went, oh, no. And I'm still better. But in my mind, I was like, no, I've missed out again. Because it's queen takes, knight takes, and here, I can simply play, what does it want? It wants rook e7. No, it doesn't want that. Yeah, rook e7. Instead I played rook e3. The wrong retreating move. And now he finds rook d2 is a miss. According to the engine, the best move here is to play rook f5, which is just a fork. And it doesn't matter that I can play like bishop here with threats on that. You can probably just play rook takes a5 because the knight's now hanging. Don't I have knight takes? No, I don't, because there's knight c2. Yeah. Anyway, he played rook d2. Neither of us saw rook f5. And here I played bishop to g6. I thought it was natural. The best move here, according to the engine, is to just play rook a1. And you will see why in a moment. I protect this pawn, which could be important for the endgame. It is a passed pawn after all. And I also get out of the way, because after bishop to g6, there's king f2. forking my rooks, threatening, bishop e2 or knight e2 to just cut off the defense of the two of them. So I played here an atrocious move. I played king c7, which loses to a variety of things. Knight f3, chiefly among of them, just trapping this rook. But he lets me off because he plays rook takes knight, giving me the exchange. He didn't need to do that because he was going to be winning the rook anyway. I think what he missed is that after a takes b4, knight c2, he misses my one decent defensive resource, which is rook takes f1 check. Now, if I were to ask you, which rook do you take? You have to take one of the rooks. Which rook do you take? You have to take this rook. If you take this rook, then I have rook takes d3. And this would have been a completely and utterly winning endgame. We would have got something like rook e2, and then I've got b3. And then I would promote, and I would win the game. So rook takes f1. Unfortunately for me, he takes the right rook. He played king takes e3. And now here's probably a draw. Probably. But I need to play rook b1. Defending my pawn. I was like, me push pawn. It's now 2 squares away from queening. Rook a1. King b6. And he just wins the pawn. And we must play this endgame. And for the next hour of my life, probably from this position, I suffered for another 40 moves. 42 moves, 41 moves, or whatever it is. I suffered. If I want to draw this game, I must play rook e1 check. And we would get king d2, and then I can play rook g1, winning this pawn. Or I can go and try and win the pawn now. Instead of that, I played b6. He brought his knight back, and here I played rook a7. And this is the wrong formation. He gives me check, I drop back, he brings in the knight, I bring in my rook to defend the pawn, and he plays h4. I played f6, he played g4, played bishop to f7, and here he went slightly wrong with knight to f4, but don't worry, I gave the wrong move as well. These inaccuracies don't really mean nothing. Although here was very strange. He took back with the pawn. I thought the whole idea of pushing the pawns was so that you could take with the rook. And quite honestly here, I don't know what I would have done. I would have probably played g6, but then there's, there's like h5. Maybe. Apparently not. G takes h5, knight takes h5. What's wrong? Oh, bishop takes, rook takes? Apparently this is a draw. Why? Rook g7. Okay, apparently this is draw. Okay, rook d7. Takes, he takes with the pawn. And I push g6 anyway, which I really didn't want to do, but I didn't see anything better. According to the engine, the only things actually better are rook d6, which I would have never played, and rook a7. Explain them to me, man. Anyway, g6. Then we had knight retreating to e2, rook e7 check, king back, here. I mean, these are all the best moves, but I'm still lost. Knight g3, bishop e8, rook e5 is the best move, and that king d8, and we traded rooks. And I got to this position, I thought, right, I might be able to hold the draw here, because if all the pawns disappear, this is a draw. Even if I'm down a pawn, which I am, Vincent has been up a pawn for a very long time, even if I'm down a pawn, I can sack the bishop for that final pawn to make a draw. I just gotta not lose from here. He plays d5, I play b5, he pushes, I play bishop c6, and then after knight to f6, which is the best move, I took on g2. He takes, I bring my king. He brings his king, I defend my pawn. He brings his knight, I bring king. He push, I take. He gives check, I go here. These pawns were very annoying, because they are very close to queening. This pawn can't quite get there yet, because I've got bishop to h3. And I'm hoping that this pawn will be enough, and that I can win this pawn. That is what is going to happen now, because I've won the pawn back. I'm no longer down a pawn. So he goes here. His knight's now not under attack and is protecting c8. So I'm going to be down the piece, but I need to win this pawn. So, bishop to h3. He played. What did he play? What's going on with my screen? It's doing that thing again. Oh, he took the pawn. He took the pawn with the knight. Sorry, I forgot, and I couldn't see it on my screen. My screen did that weird thing. King e4, slight inaccuracy, because he can play king c5, the best move. It is plus 5.6. Surely my goose is cooked. Except now, after g5, we engaged in the greatest pawn race you've ever seen in your life. Ready for this? d5, g4, d6, g3, d7, g2, d8 queen, g1 queen with check. It's a draw. Queen d4 check. Queen takes d4, knight takes d4. It is a draw. I just sack this bishop for this knight. I've just not got to allow a way in which the knight blocks the bishop's path and it's protected by the king with the pawn promoting. So I've got to keep my king close, keep it preferably on a dark square, that way I can never be forked. So king e5, the best move. And now my annotation here got a bit wonky because I'd moved on to a second pad, but I managed to hold. I don't know where, I lost like a move somewhere, but eventually, yeah. So the game didn't end here. King e7 was fine. The game ended. It would have been my move on this turn. I don't know how I missed a move somewhere, and I played bishop to b5. No, it wasn't in this position. I think. Yeah, I think it was. I don't know. I played bishop to b5. The knight wasn't there. I think it was like I don't know. The only check it could give me was there, so I think it was on g7. Yeah, I think the knight was on g7. The only check it could give me was there. I played the bishop here because the pawn can't move, and I was going to take the pawn. And I suffered for 3 hours and 15 minutes. I was not winning anymore, basically, after the queens came off. The first time. After queen takes d4, knight takes d4. The engine said I was better. I thought I was worse from here. Particularly after king f2. I really thought I was bad. I really thought it was poor. I'm really proud of rook takes f1. And getting to this position, which is a draw. Neither of us played the ending particularly well. Now, we still played at 80s accuracy, but things were 1700. So a bit of a lower score than I've gotten so far, but hey, I'll take it. I defended tenaciously, and so that's 2 draws for me today. So I am 1 out of 4, which is not a great score, but hopefully we get a W tomorrow. It's only 1 round tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And yeah, no, it was good. It was good. This ending was crazy, but eventually we got here. And he made me play this out. I offered him a draw the moment the queens came off the second time, but he made me play all of this out, and the game was indeed a draw. Yeah, crazy stuff. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think. How do you think I'm playing? Let me know what you think about how I'm going in the comments down below. Thank you so much. Cheers.